Welcome to the Weekly Option, the podcast for people interested in trading stock options. Each week, we cover trade ideas and opportunities in the stock market right now. Whether you're a beginner, a professional, or just curious about options, this is the show for you. Let's get started. Welcome to the Weekly Option. This is episode 355 on December the 27th, 2024. I'm your host, Eric, and in this week's show, we'll cover the trades from last week on BlackBerry, the United States Natural Gas Fund ETF, and SoFi Technologies, and we discuss three new trades on Beyond Meat, Palantir Technologies, and Xpeng Inc. Now, it's always great to hear from listeners. If you have any questions about the trades presented here on the show, or even about your own positions, feel free to email me. You can email questions to eric@theweeklyoption.com. That's ERIC@theweeklyoption.com. I've also created a few videos to teach you all the basics of option trading that you'll need to know to be able to follow along with me on this show. You can visit our website and click on the videos tab to watch them, or visit the YouTube channel for the Weekly Option. Now, the market ended this holiday week slightly higher. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 151 points, closing at 42,992 points. The S&P 500 index grew 40 points, ending the week at 5,970 points. And now it's time for the topic of the week. The topic of the week is planning for the new year. There are two things I really love that happen this time of the year. First, I analyze what happened last year, the good and the bad. Next, I make plans to get even more of what I want out of life next year. I say it that way because this is not just about making more money trading, although that is the focus of this show. I am definitely my biggest critic when it comes to my own performance. To be honest, 2024 did not play out the way I hoped. This weekend, I will spend some time unpacking that statement. As an optimist, I often want to avoid sitting in uncomfortable moments. But if you don't take time to analyze and evaluate your results, then you're even less likely to find a solution for improvement. And if you veer towards pessimism, you might actually spend too much time in this period of evaluating last year. The past is in the past. My evaluation is to search for clues that will lead to improvement, not additional judgment. I will start with the list of what went right last year. I'll also create a list of what went wrong. Next, I'll write a list of all of my goals or outcomes that I hope to achieve by this time next year. And from there, it's time to connect the dots. You may find that you need more discipline, self-discipline. If that's the case, look up strategies to improve self-discipline. You might find that you need to take more risk. You might discover that you need to take less risk. Whatever the results of your evaluation, do yourself a favor and try to find a solution. This obviously will not be an exact science. This is more about human psychology and self-improvement than it is about the math of option trading or even the math of creating enough of a calorie deficit to lose weight. Be honest with yourself, but do it with enough grace and love so that your judgment will not create more negative results. Then go out and party. Figure out how you're going to bring in this new year and have a celebration that is worthy of the start of your best year yet. I wish that for you, and I certainly wish it for myself. Happy New Year. So let's go ahead and get in the trade review from last week's trades. We're going to start off with our covered call on BlackBerry, symbol B as in Bravo, B as in Bravo. At the time, the stock was trading for $3.68 per share. I looked at buying stock and selling the January 4 call at 15 cents, hoping for a return of 12.77% in 4 weeks. Well, shares of BlackBerry grew 23 cents, ending the week at $3.91 per share. The call option we sold gained 4 cents, leaving us with a net gain of 19 cents for the week if we were to close the trade out immediately. Now, as usual, our initial goal is for the stock to expire above the strike price of the option that we sold. If this stock expires above $4 per share, we stand to reap a profit of 47 cents. That's more than twice as much as our initial gain this week. The stock price is moving in the right direction so far, so no adjustments are needed at this point on this trade. Next up, we have the credit spread on United States Natural Gas Fund ETF, symbol U as in uniform, N as in November, G as in golf. At the time the stock was trading for $15.87 per share, I looked at selling the January 15-14 put spread at 33 cents. That could give us a maximum possible loss of 67 cents per spread. Now, shares of UNG lost 9 cents, ending the week at $15.78 per share. The out-of-the-money put spread that we sold is still out of the money. And the goal for this trade is for the stock to expire above $15 per share, which will mean that this put spread will expire completely worthless. So the stock is currently 78 cents away from our short strike. So this trade is working out as planned also. No adjustments are needed on this one, on the credit spread this week also, but you'll definitely want to keep track of stock over the next 3 weeks. Our final trade from last week is a debit spread on SoFi Technologies, symbol S as in Sierra, O as in Oscar, F as in Foxtrot, I as in India. At the time, the stock was trading for $15.35 per share. I looked at buying the January 14-15 call spread for 67 cents, hoping for a maximum gain of 33 cents, or that's a 49.25% return in 4 weeks. Well, shares of SoFi grew 63 cents, ending the week at $15.98 per share. The in-the-money call spread that we bought is now even more in the money. The spread increased in value slightly, which is great, but we're more concerned with making sure that the stock remains above our break-even point. At this point, the share price is more than $1.30 above our break-even point, which is great. So all is well with this trade too. We are 1 week closer to capturing our full expected profit, so no adjustments are needed on this trade either. Not bad for the final week of the year. Now we are 2 business days away from ending 2024. All new trades on today's podcast will use the January 17th expiration for monthly options in January. So let's go ahead and start off with the cover call for this week. I'm looking at Beyond Meat, symbol B as in Bravo, Y as in Yankee, N as in November, D as in Delta. The stock ended the week at $4.08 per share. I'm looking at buying stock and selling the January 4.5 call at 22 cents, hoping for a return of 15.69% in 3 weeks. Now you enter this trade by buying stock for $4.08 per share and selling the January 4.5 call at 22 cents. This trade makes the most money if stock prices finish above $4 per share. The break-even price on this trade is $3.86 per share. In real terms, the stock purchase is going to require $408, and you'll collect $22 for selling the option. Next up, we have a credit spread on Palantir Technologies, symbol P as in Papa, L as in Lima, T as in Tango, R as in Romeo. The stock ended the week at $79.08 per share. I'm looking at selling the January 79-78 put spread at 35 cents. That could give us a maximum possible loss of 65 cents per spread. Now you enter this trade by selling the January 79 put at $4.35 and concurrently buying the January 78 put for $4. This is a credit spread because we are selling the spread, and this trade makes the most money if stock prices expire above $79 per share. The break-even price on this one is $78.65 per share. In real terms, you'll receive $35 per spread that you sell and have $65 at risk. And then our final trade on the week is going to be a debit spread on Xpeng Inc., symbol X as in X-ray, P as in Papa, E as in Echo, V as in Victor. The stock ended the week at $12.62 per share. I'm looking at buying the January 12.5 call spread for 31 cents. That could give us a maximum gain of 19 cents, or that's a return of 61.29% in 3 weeks. Now you enter this trade by buying the January 12 call for $1.12 and concurrently selling the January 12 half call at 81 cents. This is a debit spread because we're buying the spread, and this trade makes the most money if stock prices expire above $12.50 per share. The break-even price on this trade is $12.31 per share. In real terms, you'll pay $31 to enter the spread, and your maximum gain is $19 per spread. So that's it for this week's show, the last show in 2024. I'm going to get it posted a little bit early versus last week. I know I posted the podcast a little bit late, so thank you guys for having a little grace. I made a calendar error in the morning and almost missed a scheduled a breakfast that I had on my calendar, which is rare that I do. If it's not on my calendar, I'm not showing up. But if it's there, I'm there. So I had to postpone the podcast by a couple of hours, but figured I'd go ahead and get this out early, let you guys take a listen and take notes or whatever you normally do when you listen to the show. And then we're all going to start the weekend early. Also, remember that the markets will be closed on January the 1st, but I do believe that New Year's Eve on Tuesday is a full trading day. So we'll have 4 full trading days next week. Again, another short week, but it's because of the holiday. So enjoy your new year. Plan for 2025 to be great, regardless of what's happening in politics, regardless of all the other external factors. Make sure that it's a good year for you. And I'm going to do the same. And have a safe celebration on New Year's Eve for those of you who are still all about that party life. I will probably cook at home and have a nice quiet evening with a friend or two. So have a wonderful weekend. Happy New Year. And as always, happy trading. Thank you for listening to the Weekly Option Podcast. Please subscribe to our show and visit us at www.theweeklyoption.com. Disclaimer, there is a very high degree of risk involved in trading. The indicators and strategies described in this podcast are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as investment advice. For our full disclaimer, visit our website at www.theweeklyoption.com.